Today's topic is what makes writing great. If you've got 5 minutes, I've got 5 tips for you. Well, we all know it when we see it, but if someone were to ask you what makes that piece of writing that you're enjoying great, could you really answer the question? But if you're going to write something, it's really important for you to be able to consider what makes writing great, because if you know that, you can make your writing even better. And I'm talking about writing across all genres. It doesn't matter whether you write magazine pieces, which is where I started my own career, whether you're writing books, whether you're writing on your blog. When you read something that is really great, you know it. Many people seem to think that what's great writing is really subjective. In other words, if you like a piece of writing, you're really enjoying a particular book, you might think that that's great. But on the other hand, there might be another book that you don't like very much. So you think, well, that writing is not great. That's not necessarily true. You're not the best judge of that. For example, personally, I don't care much for Ernest Hemingway. I remember having to read The Old Man and the Sea years ago, and I really didn't like it. But I really loved reading the first Harry Potter book when it first came out, and J.K. Rowling I could consider then to be a better writer than Ernest Hemingway. But I'm not sure that that's true either. It doesn't matter what you write, whether you're writing historical fiction, romance, fantasy, memoir, how-to books, or your blog. What makes writing great comes down to a number of specific factors. Let's get started with those. Number 1, great writing is clear. It's clear and focused so that there's no misunderstanding between the writer and the reader. Number 2, great writing is compelling. It evokes some kind of a response in the reader. It might be tears, it might be laughter, it might be anger, it might just be thoughtfulness, something for them to think about, but it evokes something. So you have to make sure that that's in your writing as well. This means that if you don't cry when you're writing something sad, if you don't laugh when you're writing something funny, your reader won't either. And this is across all genres, doesn't matter what you're writing. Number 3, great writing is correct. This means that you know the rules of grammar, syntax, punctuation, sentence structure, all of those sorts of things. You have to know the rules before you can break them. One of the things that's really annoying these days in the era of self-publishing is that there seems to be this really odious perspective that people don't really care about when something is well written or not. I assure you that they do. If you read a passage riddled with grammatical errors or punctuation errors, that's not great writing. Bottom line, learn the rules, then you can break them. Number 4, great writing is creative, it's innovative, it tells something new. You know, some people these days say there are no new ideas, that everything you write is a derivation of something else that has been done before. I don't believe that. You know, when you think about scientists today, for example, they would never believe that there are no new ideas. So why should you, a writer who's in a creative business? You always have to find a new way of saying something, a new way of telling a story, a new story. And if you don't have anything new to say, you probably oughtn't to be writing. Number 5, great writing has a unique voice. It's the sound that those words make on the page. It's that uniqueness about the way the words are put together. And you know what you'll notice these days if you're looking at agent sites or publisher sites, many of them will say they're looking for a unique voice. This is what they're talking about. It takes time for a writer to develop a voice. You will have a voice that's going to be different from everybody else's, but it does take that time, and it also takes a lot of practice. And a lot of practice writing things that will never be published. Okay, as you were, I've said my piece. Now let's all get back to work on whatever manuscript we're working on today. Subscribe to Write, Fix, Repeat, and maybe I can help you improve your writing knowledge and skills. 5 tips at a time.